Wow. I mean, it looks great. So come on, Toto, what's your gut feeling? Is it going to be as fast as it looks beautiful?
Well, good morning, first of all. It looks good. And I'm so happy that we've gone back also to the black livery, and we're going to talk about it in a second. Is she going to be as fast as she looks? I hope so, but definitely there is a lot of excitement in putting the car finally on the road.
Now, Toto, you mentioned it. Impossible to ignore. You've gone back to black. It looks fantastic. Now, I think that's a weight-saving thing, but it's also very reminiscent of your last very successful car, isn't it?
Exactly. When you look at where the story of the silver arrows came from, is that the Mercedes was put on track, the race car, it was white, overweight, which is a little bit of our story last year, and it scratched off the paint, and it ended up with bare aluminium, and the car made the weight. And so we came back, we really tried to get the weight off the car in every single bit, and therefore from the paint side we committed in gaining the grams by leaving the car matte carbon, and history repeats itself. Just in this case, it's a modern material, it's carbon and not aluminium, and it's black. And on top of that, you know, we knew why we had a black car 2 years ago, and it just came together, and it's wonderful.
Feels right, doesn't it?
Feels right.
Fantastic. Another thing that's wonderful is these lovely young people behind us. Like, we've got some apprentices as well as industrial placement students from Brackley and Brixworth here today, as well as some interns from your title partner Petronas. Just how important is it for you to have these young, dynamic people working on your car?
Yeah, but you've got to look dynamic also.
Dynamic? Feeling dynamic? Good, yes, love it.
When you come on campus today, there is so many young people, and you feel the buzz, the energy and the motivation. And that's great, because those interns and industrial placements and are going to be part of the organization in a few years in more senior positions. And you can see that already today in the team. There's young people coming up into leadership positions that have actually started as interns or placements, and that's fantastic.
It really is. And how important is that continued talent development in terms of the future of the team?
An organization or a race team is never a static organ. It's not like you can freeze it and say that's successful, we're going to keep it forever. You need to continuously evolve, and that's something which we embrace in the organization. So people old like me or even older, they need to understand that somebody else will carry the baton, is going to run faster one day, and maybe it's one of these guys.
Or indeed all of them.
Love to hear that.
Or indeed all of them, hopefully.
Excellent stuff. Thank you, Toto, as ever. Right, joining us now to discuss some of the finer details of the new car are two of the people responsible for the development of the W14. Technical Director Mike Elliott and HPP Managing Director Hal Thomas.
Hello, gentlemen.
Welcome. Good morning. How are you?
Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, the teams back at Brixworth and Brackley have been working tirelessly to put this car together. And I want to understand just how much of a challenge has it been to get to where we are today?
Oh, huge challenge. I think when you look at where we were last year, I think we made some progress towards the end of the season, but we knew it was going to be a big winter. We knew we needed to dig deep. And I think it's been amazing to sort of watch the efforts both in Brackley and in Brixworth that's gone into this car. You know, a huge amount of hours, huge amount of intellectual thought to try and get to the design that we've got to, and let's hope it's a good one.
Well, the big question all the fans around the world are going to ask, it's a simple question, but perhaps not a simple answer. Is it going to bounce?
Well, the easy answer is I hope not. I think when you look at the sort of the learning we took from last year, you look at the tools that we've put together, hopefully we've got all the right metrics in place to understand what we need to do to the car so it doesn't bounce, but fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
You guys have actually been very honest about the challenges that faced you last year. What did that do for the team mindset coming into 23?
I think the mindset that I've seen and the one that we discussed has been one about just relentless development. I mean, on the PU side, we've had constraints, more and more constraints as the regulations change. We've had, at the start of last year, a hardware freeze. At the start of this year, it's going to be a software performance freeze. And therefore, finding performance within those constraints is so much harder. And it's only through real innovation and real relentless work, relentless understanding can you bring any performance forward. And so that's the mindset I see.
Fantastic. Now, I want to know, because I'm sure that it's a challenge, just how hard is it every year to not just go back to the drawing board, start all over again, as opposed to trusting what you've got?
Good question, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you look at the periods we had huge success, obviously it's easy to take the car you've got and think, well, we just build on that. I think at times last year we were questioning ourselves and saying, you know, have we made a major mistake? Do we need to change what we're fundamentally doing? But I think we know if we go and we sort of tear it all up and start again, you know you're going to start further backwards. So it's about making those right decisions. And I think, although we had problems with the car last year, I think there's also a lot of goodness in the car. There's also a lot of things that did work for us. I think the drivers talked earlier about reliability that's been good. So I think you have to be careful, sort of not to sort of just throw it all away and start again.
Carry that momentum over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true, isn't it? You learn more from your failures, as Toto alluded to many times this year. So you must come into this year with positivity, hope, bit of confidence.
Yeah, we know, you know, Mike and I work closely together, and you know, I've seen a lot of the development that has gone on the chassis side, and I know that these guys have worked so hard on fixing the problems that they've had. I've seen the relentless development we've been doing at Brixworth. Is it going to be enough? What have everybody else done? We don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a better car than the one we had last year.
Fingers crossed for sure. Now, Mike, I understand that, you know, most of the features are going to have to be kept top secret, but are there any key features of note that you can tell us about ahead of the season?
I think when you look at the cars, you look at our car, you look at some of the cars that have been released, it's all going to be in the details. It's a lot of the bits that you can't see, particularly under the floors. There's going to be a lot of development. I think some of the key bits for us, we've completely changed front and rear suspension, trying to help with the weight of the car, but also trying to help with some of the handling. You'll see there's quite significant changes in the bodywork. The core DNA is still the same, but there's quite significant changes in the bodywork. We've sort of looked at every single area and said, well, how can we improve what we've done? We looked at the problems we had last year and said, well, how do we guarantee, well, there's no guarantees, but how do we guarantee as best we can we don't have those problems this year? So it's all in the details.
Plenty of hard work.
Definitely. It sounds like a lot of hard work.
Thank you very much for your time indeed.
Thank you.
Mike and Hal. OK, I think it's about time we let the drivers back on stage for a closer look. Lewis, George, Vic, please join us. So, what do you think? Initial thoughts?
Excited.
Looks great. It looks great.
Looks great in black.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, you guys have obviously had a taste of this car in the simulator, but Lewis, in a little bit, you're going to jump in the car for the first time for real. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, we're all excited to get back in. I mean, it's been a minute since we've, obviously, from the season, we've done a lot of work in the simulator. We got to drive the old car, but we've seen this in the works for some time now. And I remember before Christmas seeing it in the wind tunnel. And you hear about all the changes we've made, and you're just hoping that the characteristics of what we've been asking for the past, 12 months. So, yeah, I'm really, really excited. And I know everyone back at the factory has worked so hard to make this beautiful creation. So this is the most exciting time of the year when you get in for the first time, you drive out the pit lane, and you get that sense, okay, you've got the power, you've got the feeling, the mechanical balance, the aero working. That's what we're excited to see.
Definitely.
So, George, how do you approach a day like today? With caution? I mean, you're going to be competitive with each other, I'm sure. That's just in your DNA. Big birthday blowout?
Yeah, I think, firstly, just really excited to drive the car for the first time. I think, as Lewis said, you see it in so many different regards. You see it first on computer screens, the front wing, the rear wing, every single tiny little element. And then you see it come to life. We drive it in the simulator. And it's just such a proud moment when you see it. I mean, we both jumped in the car a couple of days ago to do the seat fit. And around the race bays, everybody's coming in to see the work that they have put in to this masterpiece. So, now just going to go out there today, just make sure the car's working properly and try and set ourselves up for the test next week, because ultimately that's where we're going to find out how the car's truly performing.
Can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Very
Mick,
mature answer, by the way.
Mick, you've also seen, just the amount of hard work firsthand that goes into making a car like this. So tell me, how much of an appreciation have you developed for your new team?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously amazing. I mean, we're coming into one of the biggest teams. Obviously, seeing all the hard work put in. Obviously, I recently just joined, but to see the work that has gone into it and everybody working very hard to put it together, to now finally see it, and yeah, we'll hopefully get to drive it at some point, and yeah, just really excited.
Well, if hard work does translate to results, then you're in for a great year. Thank you very much indeed, Lewis, George, Mick. Great to see you as ever. Good luck today. Good luck for the whole season, in fact.
Thank you.
Now, as mentioned, George and Lewis will be taking this car around the track a little bit later, and you'll be able to follow all of that action across the Mercedes-AMG social media channels.
OK, finally, Toto, over to you for your closing thoughts for the team and, of course, all your fans watching around the world.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Naomi. It's great that we're finally ready to go. She's here. She looks great. And hopefully when we do the shakedown in an hour or so time, the car is also going to behave and be quick. So I hope you enjoyed the launch this morning. We're really happy that we could show you the real thing. And now keep your fingers crossed that the day goes well. And see you soon.
We're so lucky. Didn't you guys like to drive it?
So how long have you been there?
You've driven the same? I will. You will? Oh, nice. Good.
Thank you very much, everybody, for following the day. I hope you like the car. I think it looks absolutely great. And we'll see you next week and the week after in Bahrain.